Okay, welcome back for another video. My name is Rocco Cilio, All-Star Insurance Specialist, and I help the vintage age generation worry less and live more all throughout the year, not just during enrollment season. And in today's video, we're going to take a look into why you might not have the best suited Medicare plan for your unique situation. And when I talk about Medicare, I'm talking at all potential parts. Maybe it's Medicare Advantage plan, maybe it's Part D prescription drug plans, even Medicare supplements. And the reason why so many people wind up with not the best or the most suited plan for their situation is really because the frustration that comes when you have to go out looking around for a particular plan, the shopping experience, the buying experience, whatever you want to call it. What we're going to do is we're going to look at some independent data where a market research company went out and interviewed a bunch of Medicare beneficiaries to really uncover what their experience was like when they go out looking to find their Medicare plan. And what you're going to find, it might blow your mind a little bit, because when the shopping season comes around, those enrollment periods that people have, many people stay home and just bury their head in their sand and forget about it. And I get it. I mean, it can be a frustrating experience. So not only are we going to look at some of this data and kind of expose why, the subsets of people that they don't like to get involved with shopping and it's just information overload and all that good stuff, but we're also going to talk about some reasons why it's still important to go through that process and how potentially finding the right person to help you do that could be beneficial for you. So let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, so I pulled up here an article here from an organization called KFF.org. They are the independent source for health policy research, polling, and news. From what I could gather reading through here, they are pretty non-biased when it comes to their research and the data that they collect. But you can see right here from the title of this article here of why I wanted to spend a few minutes here. Nearly 7 in 10 Medicare beneficiaries did not compare plans during Medicare's open enrollment period. And there's some introductory key findings and a couple of paragraphs there that I'm just going to highlight real fast, because what I want to spend most of the time is just getting into some of the data specifics and get to the reasons for some of this. I will tell you that right out of the gate, the reason why this is alarming to me is because in another article that I read recently from the National Council of Aging.org, there was some polling that they did, and they found that roughly 9 out of 10 Medicare beneficiaries did not have the optimal plan for their situation, meaning that they were simply overspending throughout the plan year. It could have just been where they could have saved some money with less copays in one plan, or maybe deductibles, whatever the case may be. That could be a few $100s a year, or over maybe a couple $1,000s a year that people could have saved in their pocket had they had a more optimal plan for their situation. So when I look at that research, I'm like, wow, well, why does that even happen? And then I find an article like this that says, hey, check this out. Most people don't even compare options each year, so they don't even know what their opportunities are out there to find something better. And then it all starts to make sense for me. So at the end of the video, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you a couple ideas that can really allow you to be able to have the opportunity when your time comes, whether it's a special enrollment period or during the times of the year where you're actually allowed to change and look at things, whether it's for a Medicare Advantage plan or a Part D standalone prescription drug plan. You want to make sure that you're armed with how you don't get caught with somebody who doesn't have the optimal plan for your situation. But look, let's talk about the reason why this happens first of all. All right, so 7 out of 10 Medicare beneficiaries did not compare plans during their eligibility to do so between October 15th and December 7th. But here's the thing. Beneficiaries have no shortage of plans to choose from. Okay, so in 2024, this past year, this is March of 2025, the average Medicare beneficiary actually could have chosen from an average of 43 Medicare Advantage plans, okay, and 21 Part D standalone prescription drug plans in their market. Now, where you're at, maybe it's a few in either direction, give or take. But the thing about it is, when I think about the amount of plans that you have to choose from, that can be information overload. Very hard for you to be able to have to think about sorting through the details of 43 different plans. I got to tell you the truth, me being in the industry, it's not always easy for me to do that, and I'm dealing with this stuff every day. So I can imagine for somebody that just wants to have a good health insurance plan for themselves, the daunting task of having to know all the medical terms, all of the financial medical terms, and being able to match that up to your prescriptions and doctors, and the list goes on and on of things that you would have to do to sort through that information to find out what's best for you there. And then the other component of that is if you take all that information and then you compile it with the fact that there is just so much advertising out there. I always say that there's so much advertising out there, but there's very little education baked into the advertising. And so that is when you, phone calls, the TV commercials, the billboards, all the things get shoved in your mailbox. I talk about that stuff all the time because I think that that can also make us step even further back from even wanting to evaluate information. We have all these plans to choose from. Everybody's telling me they got the best plan for me. What the heck am I supposed to do? No, thank you. I'm just going to bury my head in my sand and keep what I have and hope for the best. Well, that doesn't work because 9 out of 10 times you're not going to wind up what's best for you. Okay. So as we go down, I'm going to scroll down and actually get into the data that backs some of this stuff up here because they compile the key takeaways here, but I actually like looking at the the research that they did. Now this data was from 2021's open enrollment period. I would imagine it's not all that much different. Maybe in this past year because there was so much market disruption that people were encouraged to take maybe a little bit further of a look. But you can just see that you can see here whether it's Medicare overall at 69% and traditional Medicare at 73% or 65%. But the truth of the matter is that almost 70% of people don't even bother to compare options, and that's not even the worst part of it. Okay, this to me is just kind of the second step in the process of what people need to do each year when it comes to trying to find the most optimal plan for their situation. So the data down here starts to break it down. They get into the the subgroups, the age groups, and you see some differences there depending on how old you were or your race or ethnicity. Not much of a difference in any of that sort of stuff. But depending on some of these subsets, you might say, "Oh, that's me. Yeah, I didn't check this out there," or maybe income levels had something to do with the range of people. But the bottom line is that if you're watching this video, chances are 1 out of 2 of you at a bare minimum, probably closer to 2 out of 3, just never even bother to shop around and just accept whatever it is that you have. Okay. But the thing is that there's a whole nother step, like I mentioned, that comes before that. And it has to do with this. Check this out here. More than 4 in 10 Medicare Advantage enrollees did not review their own plan for potential changes in covered costs or services for the coming year. See, before you can even shop for a new plan, you need to understand what's going on with your current plan. And so even though the plan name might not change, somebody send you a new ID card and that sort of thing, but the plan can look completely different from year to year with some of the changes that can be made internally. They can call it the same thing, but they can have reductions of certain benefits, add more cost sharing and copays or deductibles or whatever the case may be. And every single year, your Medicare Advantage plan provider needs to send you out an annual notice of change document, or if it's a Part D prescription drug plan, send you out the notice of change there and give you the ability in advance of enrolling into something new or deciding to keep what you have to say, hey, this is what you had last year. This is what it's going to be like for this year. And you could see here the truth of the matter is that not many people are even looking at that annual notice of change document. So it makes it even more challenging to be able to, I guess, take the next step and shop through a bunch of plans if you don't even know where you stand out on your own plan. So again, this all just piles up. It's all good intentions, right? They want to send you the annual notice of change so you have the opportunity to do a comparison. They want to offer you 48 plan options out there so you have different things that you can select from. And then with all the advertisement that's coming your way, they want to be able to let you know that these options there, that there's convenient ways or people you can talk to that want to be able to give you all that help. But really all that does is just pile up on top of you and just becomes so overwhelming that it just causes the weight of it to collapse on you and you just bail on the process entirely. So that's my working theory from all the clients that I wind up talking to. And then, the last thing is that the Medicare itself tries to give you some options to be able to get resources to help. And we'll talk about working with an agent here in a moment. But the thing is I'm just kind of skipping down here a little bit further. You can go and study this if you have some interest there. I'm just trying to highlight some things here for you. If you look, this one is something here, drug coverage. No, that's not it. Where's it at? Here. Okay. So Medicare's information resources are used by half or even fewer beneficiaries. This is non-biased resources that Medicare provides to you to be able to help you sort through all this information. They give you the option to call 1-800-MEDICARE. They provide the Medicare.gov website, and they even send you out a handbook each year, Medicare and You, that really has a lot of information out there. And so I picture, it's like, oh, thank goodness, right? I have all these things that I'm worried about, but now I can call this phone number and get somebody on the line who can help me sort all this out. And they work directly for Medicare, so they're gonna help me really find out what my optimal solutions are here. But then you call, and everybody else decides to call at the same time, so you're on hold for a long time. You're not even sure sometimes what questions to ask, and you're not even sure if you're interpreting the information that they give you is correct, if you understand completely what they're saying for you. So that can become lost. I call 1-800-MEDICARE with my clients all the time to be able to get clarity on some things. I'll sift through the website to look for information there that's most updated, and I'll even peek through the handbook once a year. So even with me keeping up on all that stuff, there's still a tendency sometimes to not be 100% right in what you think that you are interpreting. So this is something here that I think that people may have tried to use some of these resources, and once you get pinched by it once and you don't feel like you're getting the value from it, then it causes you to back off a bit. And it, it's a shame here. You could see here that, look, only 26% of you are actually reaching out to the helpline. Less than half of you, only 42%, are going to the website, and maybe more than half of you are checking through the handbook that comes out, because it's there in the mailbox. It's coming to you, so you might just flip through it a little bit there. But ultimately, not enough Medicare beneficiaries are taking advantage of these resources. And so when it comes your time, if you do not want to be one of those people that wind up having a not so optimal plan, which is 9 out of 10 people, you need to find a way to streamline doing all these steps. How to get your annual notice of change reviewed, how to get through the shopping process and taking advantage of the resource, getting your questions answered, and getting clarity on what you have there, because it's your healthcare. Now, there are other organizations locally to you, your state health insurance program, or SHIP counselors. They can provide some unbiased information there as well. But most likely, you probably have an agent of record, and your agent of record needs to really be your front line. They need to be the person that is making sure that they're going through that annual notice of change with you, explaining things, asking questions to make sure that you have clarity. They also need to be the ones that are able to go out into those 40 or 50 available plans out there, distill out the information that is relevant, so they can make a handful of recommendations that can fit into your situation. Are your doctors in network? Are the drugs in the formulary? What are the dosages and all of that sort of stuff? The pharmacies that you like. That's not an easy ask process. Now, often what will happen is that that's a time of the year that agents are also getting very busy. So what I like to do internally, is try and make sure we stay well ahead of that stuff. That's why I always say throughout the plan year, the easiest thing that we can ever do is enroll you in a plan, but it's all the information we do throughout the year to stay on top of the coming changes that are bound to happen from year to year. Are there opportunities for things to get better? Are they getting worse? Even if they're staying neutral, how do we best manage all that? So I would just encourage you to make your agent of record work for you. You deserve it. These are your entitlements and opportunities that you don't want to miss out on. So that's really what I wanted to make sure that we share here, is that you can cut down on the headaches that you have by employing the resources that you have at your disposal. I think that you have the SHIP counselors, but your agents, they want that business. They need to make sure that they're doing the work for you to find those resources for you. If you're without an agent, use the description below. You can get in touch with us. We'll be happy to give you a walkthrough, get you set up here. Even though we're well into the new plan year, we could certainly do a review for you, see where you're at with things, and make sure that you're on the best track for your next enrollment opportunities. And at the same time, if you did like this video, you'd like to see other content like this, we would encourage you, let us know in the comments if there's topics you'd like us to cover. Give the video a thumbs up, and we certainly would appreciate you being subscribed to the channel with notifications on so you can be updated when we release more videos like this. So thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.